Hey folks, welcome to the Jackson County Kayak Fishing 2023 recap. And we're also going to look forward into 2024 and what we got going on for next year. So first off, recap, 2023 was like the first full year. Our first tournament was in October of 22, and that just kind of proved out that it would work for my initial vision of just using the county lakes. Those are the ones that are super close to me, and it was nice to see that work. So one other thing that was cool on 2023 is we picked up a sponsor for some of the events. So 40 Woods kicked in some extra gift cards, hats for big bass, and a place to meet up afterwards and give out awards, which was really cool to hang out there. I do like this shop. They've added a bunch of good bass gear. 40 Woods has been around for a long time, as you can see, 1975. So that's a little bit, but yeah, in the last year, they've really stepped up their game with bass specific tackle. So that's really good to see. Here's a quick recap of kind of the data, right? Since I get that on the back end. First tournament was 7 anglers, the 9, 12, and 9. Really hoping to grow that, and you'll see how that's going to work in 2024. Average fish caught, you can really see that October last year was a tough one. Only 12 fish caught among 7 people, so it's 1.71 fish per angler. That was definitely a tough tournament. No one had a full bag for that one, so that was something else. Biggest fish, these are all good sized fish for these lakes. I know that there's bigger, but once you get into that 17 plus territory, that's a good sized bass for the county lakes, which are Blue Springs, Jacomo, Prairie Lee, and Longview. So definitely good numbers there. I loved seeing the growth. I knew this fall one was going to be a little softer, and it was, but it still ended up being a great tournament. So next up, outside of this series on the Jackson County lakes, I went and bought a kayak from a shop in north of Warrensburg called Venture Outdoors. They're a Crescent Kayaks dealer, and as you probably know, I really like my Crescent kayak. I had an Old Town too, but I sold it and I bought another Crescent. I bought an ultralight for quick trips, like after work trips. So they were super close, so I didn't have to drive all the way to Arkansas to get it. And while I was down there, we talked about fishing and tournaments. And so here we go. We're going to do a tournament with Venture Outdoors on October 7th. The lakes inbounds are going to be Hazel Hill and Maple Leaf. And so if you know where Maple Leaf is, 13 Highway and just south by 70. Hazel Hill is just down 13 from there. So it's going to be kind of the same format we've been running all year. You can launch, you can go between the lakes. Same entry fee as this year, 35 entry, $5 optional for your big bass. 5 longest bass, pay out to top 10%. Venture Outdoors is kicking in some prizes too. I believe right now it's going to be an extra $100 for first and $50 for second. So that's going to be real good. He had talked about throwing out some shirts too. So, you know, if you can make this one work, I think it's going to be well worth your time as a competitor, and you get to check out a cool shop, you know, east of Jackson County. I mean, 2 counties over when you really look at it. But so I'm really excited about that one. This is going to be kind of some of the rules that we're going to use next year, where you can fish out of the kayak. I'm going back a couple of years ago with kayak fishing. So launch a kayak, and once you're legally launched, you can do whatever is legally allowed on the public water that you're on. So you can beach your kayak and bank fish. You can wade, you know, drag your kayak with you. You have to fish within sight of the kayak, and all the pictures have to be taken in the kayak, and it has to be a legal launch, right? But that makes it more tuned to what a kayak can do, right? You can get out there, you can get wet, that's fine. You can drag your kayak, you can carry it wherever you want, as long as that's a legal thing. No trespassing or anything like that. So I hope that opens it up to a lot of people and kind of gets back to what kayak fishing was just a few years ago, 3 years ago when I started, and that was kind of the rules, right? So, moving on, 2024, we got some updates, and I spoiled a little bit of it talking about what we're going to do for the Venture Outdoors tournament, but we're going to carry on here. First thing we're doing is we're opening it up to the whole county. So, this year and 22, I kept it just to the 4 county managed lakes. So, that was Blue Springs, Jacomo, Prairie Lee, Longview. That was great, and it did what I wanted to do out of it, which was prove that there were people interested to fish here, that it filled a niche that wasn't stepping on the bigger trails like Moyak and Camo, because I'm not going to schedule any until they have their schedules out in the Western, I think Western Missouri Kayak League. So I'm going to fit these in around all those because we've got some overlap. I know some of the anglers that come to these, we're doing Camo events. I do the Moyak events. I'm just going to work around them, and that makes the whole thing better. And it also makes it easy for us that live here. We don't have to camp. We don't have to drive far. It's an easy day. It's easier to fit into our lives. So that is the big thing. I did expand it. So any public waters within Jackson County boundaries. That means the 4 county lakes. And this isn't a full list, guys. You know how to look up public water if you're in this. And if you have questions, ask me. So that's going to be the county lakes, Lone Jack Lake, Lake Remembrance, and Blue Springs. So those 2 especially get to where you don't need that extra permit from the county, right? Those don't require a permit. So that's great. That opens it up to people that I know were hesitant because they didn't want to pay the $30 or $60 if they were a out of county resident. So I hope that opens it up quite a bit. I am putting the Missouri River, if you really feel like you got to do that. So Missouri River, from Kansas City state line clear out to past Levacy. So as long as you're within this county-wide area, that's inbounds too, and then all the way south to the county line. So those are our boundaries. Any of the public water, right? Thinking of other oddball things, Blue River, Little Blue River. If you figure out how to get on there and you don't trespass, more power to you. Stay safe, don't trespass, and that's it. Find it. If you're willing to go out there, do it. You're responsible for your permits. So if you're fishing the Jackson County lakes, you got to have that permit. I'm not enforcing that, but I will tell you, you will get stopped and they will check it, and they do write tickets. I've not gotten a ticket, but I have gotten checked many, many times to have my boat permits. And here I give some of the examples. The county lakes, the 4 lakes in James A. Reed that now allow hand-launched boats. Those are good. Lake Remembrance, Lone Jack, Missouri River. Once again, get creative, but it has to be publicly accessible. Like anybody could go and throw a kayak in and fish it. You don't have to own part of the lake. You don't have to get special permission. It's just public water. As long as you do that, that's inbounds. And don't trespass. I would hope that would be, obvious, but just in case, I want to make sure everybody knows we're not going to trespass. So entry fees, we're going to bump it up, make the prize money a little better. I think we're going to have more people, more prize money, deeper payout too. I think that's going to be good. It's really only going up $5, because it was $35 plus $5 big bass. I didn't have a single person not add in the $5 big bass. So that's included. So your $45 is the entry fee. $5 of that goes into the big bass pot. Payout structure is going to be the same. Pay to the top 10%, top 3 if we have over 4 competitors. The payout pot will be the entry fee collected, right? So the $45 minus $8. And so that $8 goes mostly to Tourney X. It's $5 per angler for the tourney management. and then the PayPal fees. The last couple, I've on my payout calculator. Apparently, I did something wrong, so I've been about $10 or $20 short after the PayPal fees on the last couple. So um, this isn't a money grab or make money. This is just I'm losing money and I'm not even fishing the events. Again, I'm looking for sponsors. So the sponsors we've had so far have been awesome. 40 Woods has been super gracious with their space and kicking in prize money. The Venture Outdoors one is also huge. I mean, he's throwing in a ton there for the first kayak tournament on those two lakes. So that's good to see. But I'm interested in anybody else, anybody that you think would be interested. They want to kick in prizes, they want to kick in prize money, gift cards, whatever. Hit me up. I'm going to look on my own. I think as we sweeten the pot, we might get a few more people out. So that's really it. I'm really looking forward to 2024. Like I said, I'm not going to schedule any of these until the bigger statewide trails have gotten their stuff out. I know that that's important to a lot of people. I did get some feedback about doing 4. My initial thought was quarterly, but that first quarter is sometimes pretty hard to get in. So I'm going to try to schedule 4 of these in same format. On a Saturday. One other thing, the times, right? So this goes back to the whole county lakes, countywide versus county managed lakes. The county managed lakes have a requirement that if you launch before sunrise or after sunset, if you're on the water, you have to have all the navigation lights. So the red, green bow lights have to be there too. That's super uncommon, right? So typically you only need your front nav lights if you have a motor. So obviously if you've got a motorized kayak and you've registered it and you do all that, you know that you've got to have the navigation lights on. But a lot of more casual anglers or people that stick to paddles like me, I don't have a need to put those on because the only place I go that requires those is here. So that has made me make the times of the tournaments line up so that everybody's launching after sunrise. We're going to move that. I'm going to move launch time to roughly an hour before sunrise and then lines in a half hour before sunrise. That gets everybody the chance to get on that morning bite. I've had a couple requests for that, and I personally really love that morning bite. It's such a good thing to kick off your day and just hammer a bunch of fish right in the morning with that, that topwater morning bite is so good. So anyway, I think that covers it for what we're doing. Set up the Facebook page and the YouTube page. They were my old personal fishing page. Rename those so now everything's got a single home where it's going to live. It's not going to come from my personal page anymore on Facebook or my personal channel on YouTube. And beyond that, guys, I am looking forward to a lot more fun fishing in 2024, and I want to thank everyone that has fished so far, especially those of you that have fished multiple. That has been really awesome to see people returning. Every time we've had a few people come back and then a couple new people. So that's exactly what I want to see. And I hope a whole bunch of you make it out to that Venture Outdoors one on October 7th, and that's Maple Leaf and Hazel Hill. And that's it, guys. See you on the water.